Okay, so what we're going to be looking at here is being able to write the equation in slope-intercept form, okay? So it's kind of working backwards from what we did before, where we had the equation y equals mx plus b, or we had some equation, we rearranged it into y equals mx plus b, and then we made our graph. So we're going to look at how to write it, whether we're given a graph or whether we're given the slope in the y-intercept form. So the goal here is I want to be able to write the equation y equals mx plus b. Now remember, this guy's our slope, and these guys are y-intercept, okay? It's our y-intercept, okay? Now, given a graph, what we need to look for, the y-intercept, our b in the equation, the y-intercept is where we cross the y-axis, okay? So it's where we cross the y-axis. So first of all, identify, if we're looking at the y-axis, where does our graph cross? At a -2, right? So if it crosses at a -2, b is a -2. Now we also have to find m to write our equation. So we need two things. We need to find b and we need to find m so that we can write this equation y equals mx plus b. Well, m is nothing more than the rise over the run. Now, in order to find the rise over the run, just like we did before, you guys always had 2 points, right? We need 2 points. Well, when we look at a graph, what we really need to find is another nice point. It does not matter which point you pick, you just need to pick one nice point on the graph and find the rise over run. For instance, notice how we cross nicely right there, okay? Now, could I pick a point right here or right here? Yes, but those values aren't nice points. Notice, this point right here is at a -1, 1, okay? It's a nice value. So pick a nice value. That way you're helping yourself out. The math is a little bit easier here, okay? So if I pick that point, and then we have these 2 points, we need to do our rise over run. Now remember, we always find slope going from left to right on a graph. So in order to go left to right here, I'm going to start with this point, and we're to count down. 1, 2, 3. So I have to go down 3 and right 1 to get to that point. Well, if I have to go down 3, then my slope would be -3. That's my rise over my run, which is 1. Or we could just say -3. So writing the equation, okay, writing the equation for this guy, we'd have y equals a -3. That's our m. Then notice the next part of the equation is x, so it'd be -3x plus b. In this case, b is -2. Now, could you put plus a -2? Yes, but it's not necessarily. All we really need to do is put -2, okay? So keep that sign. So we get y equals a -3x minus 2. It crossed at a -2. Let's just work backwards here like we were graphing it, okay? It crossed at a -2, and my rise over run is a -3. So I go down 3, right 1, okay? Down 1, 2, 3, right 1, okay? So it still matches up with our graph here. But this would be the equation that we're looking for here. Let's try another example, okay? So again, I'm looking for b. Where do I cross the y-axis at? What's my y-intercept? Well, in this case, I cross at, it looks like -5, okay? It looks like I'm crossing at -5. So my b is a -5. Now I need to find m. Well, again, to find m, we need 2 points to find the rise over run. Let's find a nice point, okay? Now, there's a point here we can look at. There's a point here we look at, but none of those look nice. Let's see. Here's a nice point right there, okay? There's a nice point right there at 3. It looks like 3, 3. Now, we find slope left to right, so we have to count left to right. So I'm going to start here, and I have to find my rise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's my rise, and my run is 1, 2, 3. So my rise over run, since I'm going up, this is a positive slope. Notice it's a positive slope, so it'd be 8/3, okay? Rise of 8, run of 3. So writing my equation, y equals, and I don't want to confuse you here, it's not a negative, y equals m, 8/3, x plus b. Notice my b is a negative, so we just put -5, okay? So writing my equation here, we would get y equals 8/3, 8/3 x minus 5, okay? Now that's from a graph. if they give you, so in this next part it says, if they give you the slope and the y-intercept, it says write the slope-intercept formula of the equation of each line given the slope and the y-intercept, okay? So if they tell you the slope and the y-intercept, m and b, okay, that just makes it a whole lot easier because all we need to do is write this. Okay, that makes things a lot easier. So if they give us m and b, then all we have to do is plug it in. We'd have y equals, in this case, a negative 1/3 x for my slope, and my b is a negative 3, minus 3. Okay, y equals a negative 1/3 x minus 3. Y equals mx plus b. For this one, I'd have y equals my slope, which is a negative 8, x plus b, in this case, b is a positive 5. Okay, so that makes things 10 times easier when they just flat out tell you what m and b are and we can write our equation.